Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel and blog. I'm Jenny Hall. Thanks for joining me for another card making tutorial. Today I'm going to share a scrapbook page project that I created with pieces in Pattern stamp set. I also used the June 2017 paper pumpkin for supplies in this project. To start off, I would like to create a few icons that are going to kind of like mix in between the photos of some of the items that were from Pieces and Patterns stamp set. The image of the dinosaur, the camera, and the bear are so cute, and I thought they would mix in nicely somehow or another. I know my kids like these stamps, and I wanted to include them on this project. So I've stamped them in black archival ink onto watercolor paper, and I've added clear embossing powder to heat set and make sure that my small amount of watercoloring stays inside the lines. Making a scrapbook page is a little more involved in making a card making project in the way that it takes up a little more time and there's quite a bit of planning involved. And that's okay. It's a nice way for you to tell a story on a page and save it for someone you love or just for yourself to look back and reflect upon. The little watermelons that are stamped and fussy cut are from the paper pumpkin kit. So this is one of my paper pumpkin alternative projects. The little bear has his two little arms that I've used my paper snips to cut around so that I could slide the watermelon up underneath his arms and make him appear to be holding it from the back. I've stamped Wild About You on one of the pieces of the paper pumpkin. It looks like a yellow watercolored banner. And now I'm going to use some fast fuse adhesive to secure my photos down to the different photo frames that I've cut out from paper. The black and white piece of pattern paper is from Pick a Pattern Designer Series paper. The pink paper with the little black watermelon seeds is from the paper pumpkin kit. That's originally a piece of tissue paper that I cut out into fourths, and I will adhere it down to a piece of white paper for stability and then feature it with one of the photographs of my boys. The story behind this page is that my kids and I went to the store and we bought a watermelon. They really wanted a giant watermelon, but we settled on a small watermelon. So we waited and waited a couple of days to cut this watermelon, and we finally did. And this is the day that I took the photos, is the day that I'm featuring for this scrapbook page. And by the way, they did not like the watermelon at all. So I've used the large numbers dies to create some unusual large numbers from one of the components of the paper pumpkin kit. There are 4 different boxes that are created with pattern paper that looks like a watermelon. So using that box that I deconstructed, I cut out those numbers, and they will having the same colors of number that look like the rest of the project, but they look like their watermelon rind. It's a beautiful way to give a variety to a scrapbooking project. I used my black marker to fill in the word wild on the stamped image there, and I'm using the same stamp to stamp the word wild all over the piece of scrapbook 12 by 12, but I'm masking off the bottom portion that says About You. So to do this simple and fast masking, I grabbed a piece of scrap cardstock and covered up the words that I don't want to appear on the paper. This is the fastest way that I do masking. Here's another stamp that is from Pieces and Patterns stamp set. It looks like maybe some paw prints or some little pebbles or stones, and it goes nicely with the wild word, so I'm adding it around in a different area of the project. The white chalk marker is the perfect accent to fill in some of the little circle bubbles that I just stamped out. It brings a tremendous amount of variety to a brown tone-on-tone card base or project base. And now I'm taking that same chalk marker and just putting little tiny dots because the circles are filled in a little bit bigger. So I want to talk about the design, which this is the biggest question I get about card making and scrapbooking. How do I decide how to put a design? So I most of the time work in a design triangle. If you notice that the numbers and the picture in the bottom right hand corner have the same colors, so they'll be opposite from one another. And then we have the pink in that right hand photograph with the pink in the left, and they will be catty corner from each other. And then the yellow two banners that also carry those green and pink tones, they need to be opposite from one another as well. However, they also fit in with the numbers of 2017 into a design triangle. It may be a little overwhelming and complicated. However, if you look at things in design a certain way and remember to work in a triangle, your brain's going to like it. I can't explain why that happens, but it just looks nice. And the important thing is the design very rarely fails. So I tend to go with something that I know is tried and true, and I think it looks nice, and that's also a good side effect. So now I've gotten all of the little watermelons in a design triangle, flipped the triangle, and the 2017 numbers also work in a triangle. So I'll go into more in subsequent weeks about design, but I hope this answers a lot of questions and that it helps you to be able to work in a certain design. This page is a little bit busy for me. I tend to like more clean and simple. However, I think this was a nice way to feature more than one photo of my kids on the special day that they're going to remember. And I hope that as they grow older, they'll be able to look back at this scrapbook page and remember, oh yeah, we had that watermelon and we wanted to cut it, and when Mom cut it, we didn't like it. In fact, if you look at the photo in the bottom left-hand corner, you'll see my son Nate making a very funny face because he licked the watermelon piece and he was really not excited about what he got on his tongue. My kids both have issues with textures in food, and this was a little more than what they can handle. So thank you all for joining me for this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you like the subsequent weeks. I plan to have one every Sunday. Be sure not to miss the exclusive content that I share only with my customers. You can become a customer by clicking Shop Now at jennystampsup.com to make your Stampin' Up! Purchase. I do appreciate your support. Thanks for joining me today. I'll see you in the next video.